During an academic travel abroad, it may be possible that you wish or have to visit either the different regions of your host country and also its neighboring states. We will see the main situations you may incur during transfers and try to design an overview of main arrangements to think about beforehand. We will consider three main situations: movements through the borders, movements through the borders of countries with tense relations, restricted access areas and internal checkpoints. Moving through the borders is normally easy but not automatic. So, if you plan to visit a neighboring country of your official host country, you must always be sure to hold the required immigration documents, such as an entry visa. For example, having a study visa to stay in South Africa does not entitle you to entry in the other countries of the SADC region, such as Mozambique. To meet other entry requirements and keep meeting the entry requirements of your prime host country. Vaccinations are a well-fitting example of the risk to find yourself losing entry requirements for your prime host country. Let's make a concrete example. You are carrying out your mobility in Mozambique, and coming from Italy, you did not have to produce a yellow fever vaccination certificate when you entered the country the first time. You now plan to have a few days trip to Tanzania. Well, in this case, when you will travel back to Mozambique, immigration officials at the borders will ask you for a yellow fever vaccination certificate, being Tanzania one of the provenance countries for which Mozambique, up to 2017, is requiring yellow fever vaccination certificate. Under this scenario, we can also consider the temporary transit through countries to reach your final destination. It may be possible that simple transit, even for a handful of hours, oblige you to consider the above 2 points. Let's take as an example the USA. If you are traveling to Nicaragua but you are flying through the USA, then you will have to apply for a transit visa for your stopover in the USA, even though it consists in a few hours. Let's now address movements through the borders of countries with tense relations. There are still many boundaries that suffer from tense relations between the two sides for various reasons connected to immigration flows or tense political conflicts. This means that police controls at the borders are pretty frequent, when not mandatory, and strict. Think, for example, to the Israeli and Palestine borders or to the USA and Mexico borders. If, generally speaking, controls at the borders are never to be underestimated, in these cases particularly, they require a certain preparation beforehand. Police checkpoints may be very tough, including long and teasing interviews, meticulous search of your luggage and handbag, and questioning over purposes or objects you may carry and you did not consider to be captious. In these cases, it is recommended first of all to get informed in advance about the existing conflict between the countries, about the protocols police should apply and which are your duties but also your rights in terms of privacy and fair treatment, about the recurrent features that may create problems in order to possibly avoid them. During interviews and search, provided you do not have anything to fear about, it is always recommended to keep calm, avoiding that stress and emotions took over, and answer in a straightforward way to the questions, being concise and clear. Remember that unless directly required, you are not obliged to provide details you have not been asked for. Let's finally see the third scenario: internal checkpoints and restricted access areas. Countries who are undergoing internal social turmoil, civil conflicts or crises may be characterized by the high presence of military forces in the streets and by frequent police checkpoints. Checkpoints may be also located near restricted access areas and no-go zones. These are defined areas within a country or a town that may either require for specific authorizations to get in or which has a reputation for violence and crime which make them almost inaccessible. Examples of no-go zones may be the big slums in a town or regions where internal guerrilla and rebels' armed presence is concentrated, while examples of restricted access areas may be displaced people and refugees camps or demilitarized zones between countries, as an example the one between North and South Korea. Similarly to the second scenario, controls may be tough also in these cases and require you to always travel with your documents and authorizations to get in and off the areas when required. As for no-go zones, it is recommended to avoid these areas unless this is due to perform the academic mobility. In this case, a procedure and security protocol should be designed together with the host institution, who shall support activities in these areas and facilitate them through local contacts. Independent action, beyond being in the majority of cases forbidden, is highly not recommended. To sum up, it is likely that during your mobility you may wish or have to move within your country or to neighboring countries. These movements are not always easy nor automatic. All the three situations we have seen ask you to plan your movements in advance and get pre-informed about requirements you should meet and the most appropriate approach to apply in the uneasy situations you may likely find yourself.